16,000 words. This is the record. No one has ever done 16,000 words in a single prompt, in a single request. Let's say half a book is done. GenSpark Super Agent. We've already done some experiments with GenSpark using the classic generative chats. Yes, because GenSpark has most of the models, even the latest ones like GPT-5, GPT-5i, Claude 4.1, Gemini 2.5 Pro. It has pretty much all of them, but we've never actually tested the agent, the GenSpark Super Agent, to write a book. So today's challenge is between the GenSpark Super Agent and the BookBench. What is the BookBench? It's an index that measures how effective an artificial intelligence is at writing a book. And it does this through 10 parameters such as the title, the summary, the style, the content, the length, readability, the humanity of the text, the ability to write a whole chapter, the ability to write an entire book, and the token context, meaning the internal input and output memory of an artificial intelligence. So, with just a few tests, 10 agents measure the entire capability and provide a final result that ranges from 1 to 100. At the moment, no one has ever reached 100 yet. And so here we are in the Super Agents chat where we enter our first prompt asking GenSpark to create the titles, subtitles, and the summary of our book. You see, it's super fast. I don't even have time to read you the prompt. Biography. My name is Giacomo Bruno. I'm a publisher experienced in marketing and personal branding. I want to create a book to help entrepreneurs and professionals write a book to become authoritative. You are an expert in books in my field. Use simple and appropriate language for the reader. Write 5 title ideas with 2 or more words and subtitles with 8 or more words. The title must be original, impactful, effective, and clear. The subtitle should start with how and express the main benefit for the reader. Do not include comments, just give me the titles as a numbered list, title 1, and so on. And it did. After writing the titles, choose number 1 as the final title. Based on that title, write a detailed summary in 5 chapters in a how-to style. Each chapter in 5 paragraphs, always in a how-to-see format. If we're talking about manuals or training books, present it as a numbered list. So, he wrote the titles: Magnetic Book, Paper Authority, Author Method, Write and Conquer, Personal Brand Publisher, and he wrote the summary for title number 1. Now let's go to our BookBench title evaluator, paste in the titles suggested by GenSpark, and let it evaluate them based on 5 parameters. Let's take a look at them right away. The first one, Magnetic Book, 59 out of 100 for linguistic coherence, 12 out of 20 for emotional impact, 10 out of 20 for clarity, 14 for commercial appeal, 13 for memorability, 10 out of 20. Pretty harsh. Honestly, I actually like this title, Magnetic Book. On the other hand, they liked Paper Authority, 68 out of 100. Let's always look at the 5 parameters. 3, the author method, how to go from invisible professional to point of reference, 74 out of 100. They really liked it. I have to say the author method isn't bad. Write and Conquer doesn't really thrill me, but GenSpark, our BookBench, really liked it. And then there's Personal Brand Publisher, which sounds more like a publishing house than a book title, 67 out of 100. Total 7 out of 10. So let's give the name GenSpark Super Agent. A nice 7 out of 10 for our title. And then we'll take the detailed summary from here on and evaluate it again with the BookBench Summary Evaluator. And here as well, 5 parameters, 82 out of 100, which is a great score. Linguistic coherence, 18 out of 20. Emotional impact, clarity, 19 out of 20. With commercial appeal, 16. Memorability, 17. A solid 8, which is definitely a good score. Okay, we're good on the summary. Let's go back to GenSpark, and now for the tough tasks. We ask it to write the introduction. Here, many generative artificial intelligences have failed. Why? Because we ask for a 2,000-word text, and often, due to the output context limits, generative AIs easily fail. Here we ask for a 2,000-word introduction that explains why the author wanted to write this book, using an emotional and engaging style, addressing the reader directly with "you," following this outline. Story and anecdote about myself and why I decided to write this book. Challenge the reader. Tell them something they don't know. Talk about opportunities and goals for the reader. Present their problem and fears. explain the journey they will find in the book based on the table of contents, arguing why each chapter is important, and give a concrete strategy to use right away. Let's read. I'll read you a few lines to understand the tone, whether it's emotional or not. The phone call that changed everything. I already like that it starts with a story like this. It was March 2018 when I received that phone call that would forever change the way I look at the world of publishing and business. On the other end of the line was Marco, a financial consultant from Milan whom I had known for years. His voice was trembling slightly as he told me what had just happened to him. Giacomo, you wouldn't believe it. Yesterday I closed a contract worth $180,000. The client chose me because he read my book. Wow, I like that. GenSpark doesn't know anything about me. In fact, it doesn't know that I started 20 years earlier, but these are things that actually happen to me every day. So just from my brief biography, it understood well what I do and even gave me completely accurate and concrete examples. Marco had published his first book just 8 months earlier, Safe Investments, a 150-page manual explaining how to protect your savings from inflation, blah, blah, blah. So the opening story is excellent, really excellent. I'm telling you this both as the author of 35 books and as the publisher of more than 1,200 books by entrepreneurs and professionals. I'm going to tell you something that will leave you speechless. Are you ready? 73% of successful professionals who earn over 200,000 euros a year have written at least one book. It's a credibility booster, a golden opportunity, the fears that hold you back, and so on and so forth. So I really like the content a lot. Here, maybe it's a bit too schematic, and here as well, a bit schematic. The paragraphs are a bit short for a book, but still not bad. Again, more outlines, outlines, outlines. It feels very ChatGPT-like in this regard. All right, let's copy and go to the introduction evaluator. Okay, let's paste it here and evaluate the style and content. Style, 7 out of 10 for linguistic coherence, 8 out of 10 for clarity. I liked it too. Structure, 4 out of 10. I agree. All these fragmentations, these bullet points, bad, 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 bad. Content, personal story, 7. I would have even given it more. 9 for promises, opportunities, 8 for problem and pain resolution in general. So a 6 for style and an 8 for content. That's fair. 6 for style, 8 for content. I absolutely agree with that. Let's also look at some parameters for length and readability. We paste it here. It's 1,486 words. I expected a bit more from GenSpark. Length is a 7 out of 10. Readability is 61.7. That's a 9 out of 10. The Cool Piece Index helps us understand when a book is easy to read. Not too difficult, but not too easy either. So 9 out of 10 and 7 out of 10. Length, 7 out of 10. Readability, 9 out of 10. And as for humanity, how much can be determined by AI? How much seems like AI and how much seems human? 46% AI, and in fact, the scores are rather low. 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for variability. Text complexity, humanity, a score of 5 out of 10, slightly below average. But now let's see if GenSpark as an agent gives us any nice surprises and we ask it to write an entire chapter. And here it gets really tough. Let's start with chapter 1. Based on the summary created, write paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, each of 2,000 words for a total of 10,000 words. It's not easy. Each paragraph should be well argued and in depth with subparagraphs of 5 or 6 lines, then a blank line, no bullet points, explain everything in text format just like in books. I'm teaching it a bit of formatting. In the content, also add some of my stories, relevant anecdotes, and provide examples that are consistent with the theory explained. Make use of all the output tokens you have available. Proceed without interruptions, completing the entire task in a single output. If you think you might exceed the token limits, still continue everything in sequence as far as you can go. Here lies the real challenge, where 90% of generative AIs stumble and collapse. It's precisely the length, the output context. They're all limited, truly. Maybe a couple have given me some satisfaction. I think Grok and definitely Gemini 2.5 Pro, the others with great difficulty. Let's see how an agent, which in theory should leverage the best AIs for its goal, handles this. Let's see. Chapter 1, paragraph 1.1. I already like how I formatted it with the titles, subtitles, and paragraph headings. They don't look like 2,000 words per paragraph just at a glance, but we'll analyze it properly later. This one's a bit longer. 1.3, it's still writing it. Well, it's nice to see a book being created from scratch in just a few minutes, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? Write in the comments while we wait. Give this video some support. A nice like and a comment to say what you like, what you don't like. If you've ever used GenSpark, if you've ever used general agents, which artificial intelligences you use, and which ones you'd like us to test against the BookBench, because it's important to know which AI is best for each purpose. In this case, when writing a book, you need to know which is the best, because you only write a book once, so do it with the right tool. So write in the comments now. Thank you very much for your attention, and please do consider following this channel for more updates. Meanwhile, GenSpark is making significant progress and moving forward with its development, with version 1.4 already released and version 1.5 soon to be available. I have to say it's a bit slower compared to almost all the AIs we've tried, but it's also true that it's writing quite a lot, so it might reach 10,000 words, who knows, we'll find out soon, but we're writing an entire book, so even if it takes 2 minutes, that's nothing. If you think that I, who have written 35 books, 33 of which without artificial intelligence, you understand that I know what it means to write a book, it takes months, not minutes, months and months and months. Clearly, I don't even consider this a book that's ready to be published. It can be a foundation, a draft to which you can add your soul, your expertise, your stories, your challenges. A book must represent, obviously for personal branding, your authenticity. It must represent its author. This is written entirely by AI. We don't need it. We need it as an example, as a technical stress test, period. But it's writing remarkably well. This could bring us great satisfaction. By the way, I noticed that it writes. It doesn't make comments. It doesn't complain. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's see. Let's get back to us. Chapter is one of the most difficult challenges. Ready? 4,577 words. I would have preferred more, I would have said more. A 5 out of 10, which isn't bad at all. It's a good and respectable result, but I genuinely expected more. Let's give this chapter a 5. But now the most difficult and significant challenge is the whole book. We will ask GenSpark to write an entire book. So based on the summary, write all the other 4 chapters, chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5, each made up of 5 paragraphs of 2,000 words, 10,000 words per chapter, for a total of 40,000 words for 4 chapters. With the large token context you have all the resources you need. As always, I want to motivate our artificial intelligence to do its best work. So proceed without interruption, complete work, a single output. If you think you might exceed the limit, go ahead anyway. Come on, GenSpark, show us that you are capable of writing a whole book all at once. Be different from the others. You are an agent. You can do better than the typical artificial intelligences. Let's see if it actually made it. So here we are at paragraph 4.4, which is a significant section. After writing for a good 20 minutes, it stopped. It interrupted itself. That means it reached the maximum possible output limit. I'm very curious. Let's go take a look. Full book. Let's see how long it is. 16,000 words. That's a record. No one has ever done 16,000 words in a single prompt, in a single request. Let's say half the book is done. Congratulations. Full book score, 4 out of 10, because our goal is obviously a full book of 40,000 words, but 16,679 is truly a record. So great job, GenSpark. And now let's record the result as 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And finally, the last level is the token part. So tokens, we know that as output, it produced, as we said, 16,679. Then let's see how much it takes as input. So if it reaches 160,000, I have our Word files with 160,000 words. Let's see if it can handle them, and I'll ask it to summarize them for me. So let's see if it can read them. Most of them tell me, stop, hold on, I can't even read it. It effectively compresses the extensive previous chat history for me, so it's quite likely trying to make significantly more room for this particularly important and crucial input. However, it genuinely seems like it's taking it fully into account. It truly seems like it's carefully reading it. Great, great, great. Here we go. It's analyzing the text, and I have to be the one. There's a technical problem. They're not 170,000 like. It's a 10,000 word article repeated multiple times. Good, right? That's true. It's not unique content. All right, great. It read it. It read all of it. It noticed the mistake, the repetition. And so 170,000 words. Yes, at this point I have an even bigger file. It's 240,000 words. No one has ever read it before. It's the book, The New Law of Attraction, that I wrote together with some world-renowned gurus. Here it is. Let's feed it to it and see if it reads it. It's the book I wrote together with Ivan Misner, founder of BNI, Business Network International, Jack Canfield, with a foreword by John Gray, author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and then our Italian friends Andrea Colombo, Claudia Messina, Daniela Antongiovanni. Let's see if this book, which talks about relationships, if it likes it. In any case, absolutely yes. It's taking it, it's reading it. It doesn't seem to have an output limit. We haven't managed to reach it. So 240,000 words, which is 360,000 tokens. That's really a record. So I'll let it work. But in the meantime, I'll go right. So even 240,000 words, and the Windows context token should be 1,000,000 words, exactly the same as Gemini and many other, well, not many others, just a very few others. So it gets a 10 out of 10 for context window, a 10 out of 10 for input tokens, record breaking, and a 10 out of 10 for output. So here GenSpark has really won. Nobody ever gets a 10 out of 10. So 10 out of 10 for tokens. So now let's look at the total BookBench score for GenSpark. A nice 69 out of 100, a really great score, a really great score. Given how it created this whole final part, I'm sorry it lost points on the chapter section, where it only gave me 5,000 words, when it showed it could have done 10,000 without any problem at all, and so it would have gotten 5 more points here, reaching 74. Maybe in a future test, we'll try again. We'll rephrase the prompts. Now, with the same prompts, the score on the BookBench is 69 out of 100, which is still a really, really good score. So that's fantastic. Good job for GenSpark. And I have to say on a personal level that working with software with an artificial intelligence platform that can write these long pieces for you all at once can be really convenient, especially when you have such a large input where you can maybe upload the entire book you've written and feed it to the AI, have it edit, correct, fix, improve, and remove repetitions. You can see that it even spotted the repetitions in the file. An excellent tool, so in my opinion, on par with Gemini for daily use in writing, revising, and editing books. So really a great rating. And so if you want to know the overall ranking, write ranking in the comments and don't miss the other videos in the BookBench series. Go check out the other test videos because there are really a lot of interesting things. Go watch the one about Gemini 2.5 Pro and the one about Google AI Studio because those are the two that achieved the highest scores and are among the few that did better than GenSpark. So stay curious and enjoy watching.